The most important part of mountain biking is taking riders to places that they've never seen before. So there's a lot of work that goes in before the actual race actually begins. There's a lot of technicality that goes into route markings. It's a very challenging thing to go out at 3 in the morning and finish putting in approximately 200 to 300 arrows on a 70-kilometer route, which is live once the race kicks off. And to manage all of that just through arrows and crosses, it's a very difficult challenge. So these guys overtake whatever challenges come their way and they do a great job of it. And we've often received feedback that we are one of the best marked races in the world, and we take great pride in how we conduct this activity.
Four down, 4 to go. For many, the race had only just begun. As each stage progressed, our riders found themselves getting used to the unpredictable nature of the marked routes, from dry rocky paths to narrow forest trails. The paths where dismounting was a safer option. This 91-kilometer stage that packed two fast and early enduro sections served as a warning for the day ahead. As a tiny error in judgment could lead to grave consequences.
Why do you always get me stuck every time?
कभी नीचे आते हो?
हाँ नीचे अपने हिसाब से चलेंगे, इंजरी नहीं होना चाहिए। आज पहली बार ऐसा है, 12 साल में पहली बार गिरने का मौका नहीं देने का यार।
After a long day under the blazing sun, guided by the cheering village folk, our riders trudged on, following white line markings as Stage 5 ended in the compounds of the prestigious IIT Mandi. By now, there was a solid sense of camaraderie, and virtues of sportsmanship were abound amongst all the riders and all those involved in the race. This adventure was already unforgettable.
Another very important part of the race is marshalling and tracking. We do a lot of manual tracking, so for us it is very critical that the team of 20 to 25 officials, rescue marshals that we have, along with vehicles and ambulances, is set up across very important points on the route. We are very, very technical in terms of how to track riders, how to ensure that every rider on the route is safe.
We have two more riders coming to you, number 16A and 16B.
Copied. Downhill, 20 kilometers downhill. Be careful.
Sir, what is the count at Jalori Pass?
So we use approximately 22 radio communication sets across the route.
Total number of riders आज है 79 plus 1 over.
So this whole team is very live, very experienced, and it's only with a capable team like that that you can actually do a race like this in the Himalayas.
Order of the day: one large helping of crime.
The race in itself, it's a whole different experience.
Out there, you're cycling, you're just so focused on one pedal after the other, just to get on top of that hill.
come to the MTB Himalaya, you have to really focus on your climbing. We spend 70% of the time going uphill. You have so long climbs, you know, you're just climbing for days, it seems. You know?
Going over exposed and steep gravel terrain, the climb continued into the forests, providing our riders with some respite from the sun. But not for long, as they were about to witness some of the best landscapes the race had to offer. Upon entering Barot Valley, our athletes were taken deeper into the unexplored natural beauty of Himachal Pradesh. As Adria Noguera and Catherine Williamson dominated not only the stage, but were leading overall with only 2 stages left to go.
And everyone's going through the same thing. They get up in the morning, they get on their bikes, they cycle all day, and get into camp, and then you've got to figure out the rest of your life. The same thing every day for the last, whatever is it, 6 days, 7 days, I don't even know. I don't even know what day it is. It's like that, you know, time warp.
Everywhere I go, I always name MTB Himalaya as an example of organization.
For the organizers, it must be a huge challenge to bring all this together, because we are here in the middle of nowhere, I would say. And
to set up these campsites, which are very international in standard, in such remote places is a huge logistical challenge. So we are setting up approximately 110, 120 tents every day. So it's a moving camp that complicates it even further. So you can imagine, like, once the rider is leaving the campsite, the whole camp is taken off and put in another place before the rider actually reaches there.
I mean, every night you finish in a camp and they got food laid out for you, the tents are set up, there's music playing.
Basically हम तो सिर्फ राइड करते हैं और वहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं, वहाँ खाना पीना नहाना धोना सब कुछ ऑलरेडी मतलब रेडी रहता है.
The penultimate stage was set to become one of the reasons why this race is a notch above the rest, going through villages that have no motorable access. From the last roadhead of this region, the riders pedaled 14+ kilometers on what was primarily and naturally ancient mule tracks used by villagers to transport their goods. Views of timeless villages and steep gorges that the old river cuts here. The riders faced an intense enduro section followed by a tough climb up the gorge.
time. Let's go, boys. Come on. Come on. Come on.
The race ended for the day after a quick and long downhill all the way to the low-lying hills of Palampur, as Catherine Williamson was on the way to clinch her 4th MTB Himalaya title.
My name's Catherine Williamson. I'm from the UK. Well, apparently this is my 4th time. I thought it was my 3rd time. I've come back a few times to this race, and you know, people are finishing every day in the dark, and then they're getting up and doing it again the next day without complaining.
I think it's not only a race, it's a combination of a race and an adventure.
Nice 9 days of racing now. To me, it's a perfect combination of riding your bikes, hanging out with buddies, and just having a good time, you know, so it's...
I really enjoy the experience here, racing here in this great scenery in the Himalaya area.
And you go to parts of India that you never get to otherwise. I mean, the last 9 days we saw some amazing places that you never get to.
The perfect end to a perfect 9 days of racing. Characterized by relatively non-technical sections, this easy-going yet quick 56-kilometer stage offered everyone scenic views of the majestic Kangra Valley and the mighty Dhauladhar ranges. And during that final climb to the finish, we can only imagine what the athletes were going through.
Everyone who is participating in this race are really good, strong riders, and it's a really hard race. It's, I think, one of the hardest races out there. And you have the fighting feeling that you're always pushing, and the guy next to you is also pushing, you know, so it's like neck-to-neck racing all day, and that's what makes this really fun too.
Every single second you want to quit, but at the end you see the streams passing by, the high mountains, the snow-covered peaks. That's all like about MTB Himalaya.
The 13th edition of the Hero MTB Himalaya comes to a close. Join us again next year as we go exploring the Himalayas one more time.